If you find yourself skipping leg day like so many people on this planet do, then this video might help you out because we're going to do two things here. Number one, we're going to actually go over my own leg day so you can see what you could possibly do for a leg day. And then also we're going to talk about a few ways to stop hating leg days so you actually want to show up and you might even enjoy it. I know that's a big, bold claim, but hear me out, see if it even makes sense, and we'll go ahead and talk about it at the end. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and pop my workout up here. We got some legs to train, and it's just a very important part of the week. So we're starting it off with squats. And the main reason I do squats is because I literally have no other leg exercises that I can do with the equipment that I have that isn't super light for me. I also really like barbell squats, so that kind of plays into my favor, but I set up the home gym to, support that. As you can see, I got that back there. But anyway, what we're doing right now is we're actually seeing if we can squat 200 pounds for the first time in about a year and a half. And the answer is, well, yes, we can, even with a funky knee. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about in just a second with a funky knee. And I'm not exactly following the program that I had just created, but the reason I'm not is for that reason. I wanted to see if I could squat 200 pounds, which we did, awesome. And the second reason is the weight that I should be able to do 6-7 reps or so with. It's not really working out too well for me because as you can see, I did my first rep, it worked out great. Did my second rep, a little slower than I'd like, but it worked out okay. And here, just listen to this. I feel it even though I'm not there right now. I mean, I'm in the same location, almost exactly the same location. But anyway, my knee popped so bad and I felt that it was off, and I'm glad that I stopped the set that I did when I did because I need to relieve that pressure that was in my knee. And I got to work either on my ankle or on my hip or something because something's just not lined up right, which is causing that weird gas pressure in my knee. Anyway, moving on to Romanian deadlifts. Question for you. Would you count this as 5 or 6 reps? Because it would be 6 if you count the first rep picking it up, 5 if you don't. But I have to pick it up off the ground and it's like almost a rep. But anyway, that's my entire leg workout. Did 2 sets of squats, and as you saw, the one heavy single and then 1 set of 2. I know, lots of reps, and it's not necessarily that I'm recommending that, but I also did 2 sets of Romanian deadlifts. I did 6 reps, and then, or 5, depending upon who you ask, and then I did another set of 5. And that was the whole thing. Normally I would train abs on this day, but I ran out of time, so didn't get to train abs. Not super particularly worried about that because it's really just training the abdominis rectus, which is the abdominal wall. So that's that. How do you train legs in a way that you don't hate it, that you don't want to skip it, like with all of the fibers in your being, you're not trying to avoid it? Well, the answer is a few things. First off, you don't have to do the leg workout like I do. You don't have to do barbell squats. You don't have to do Romanian deadlifts with the barbell. You don't have to do really any particular exercise at all. But there are 2 things that you need to do, which is some kind of squat, it doesn't have to be a free weight squat. It could be a machine that simulates a squat. And you have to do some kind of hip hinge exercise. And then that way it's like a deadlift or like a hip thrust or something to that effect. And there are a bunch of different variations of each of those types of exercises you can try out to see what you like. Another thing you need to do if you want to maximize your leg growth over the long haul is some kind of leg curl, because the hamstrings get hit on the squats a tiny micro amount, and then on the Romanian deadlifts or some kind of hip hinge, depending upon which exercise you do, a pretty decent amount. But they don't really get hit in the way that they really should, which a leg curl takes care of that. Leg extensions for the quads, not entirely necessary. Some people like them, some people don't. It depends on what you like and what you don't. And then if you decide you want to train calves, you could definitely do that as well. If you are going to pick one calf exercise, it's going to be one without your knees bent, a straight leg calf, because that's going to hit more of both than the bent leg calf, where you kind of sit on that seat and kind of, like you have your knees bent and you do calf raises on that little machine thing. If you had to choose, if you have time for both, cool, do both. But that's going to give you the most bang for your buck. And that's really legs. Now, some people say you need like a squat, a deadlift type exercise. You need some kind of unilateral exercise. You need some kind of leg curl. You need leg extensions. You need calf raises. You need abs. You need biceps. You need bench press. I'm joking, I'm a little exaggerating here, but so many people go into leg day and they do so much work that they end up crippling themselves because they think that's how they have to train. And the reality is you don't have to train so hard that you want to throw up in order to get any kind of results. All you really need is those few basic exercises, some really good technique, making sure that you're actually using the muscle you want to build, both in muscularity and in strength, and then also getting stronger over time, putting more tension on the muscle over time. Because if you have that good technique, you're getting as much tension as you possibly can, and then you get heavier and heavier or add a little bit more reps and then a little bit more weight and keep doing that over time, your muscles are going to grow. They're going to get stronger, and you don't have to spend hours in the gym to make that happen. Like, my workout is an extreme case. I would never recommend anyone do that. I kind of don't have anyone telling me what to do. Sometimes I feel like I need to personal train myself. However, I still want to make progress off that because I'm pushing my muscles beyond where they were before. Again, I do not recommend it, but it is still going to have a net benefit to it because I also didn't push to the point where I would have had some kind of injury. So it's finding that balance. Typically, probably somewhere in that 6 to 12 rep range would be ideal, even if you're not using heavy weight, because you're going to go ahead and use a really good control on the technique. And then that way, when you add weight over and over and over the weeks, months, and even years, you're going to retain that technique, and you're going to, again, not have to do 37 exercises for 27 sets each just to make progress. And why this is such a big deal and why I'm making it such a big point is when people do this, they become so sore because they are working their muscles past their capacity and then some, doing sometimes drop sets and supersets and all this stuff to just absolutely brutalize themselves so they can feel like they had a good workout, when all you really have to do is, good technique, get stronger. Even if it's a couple sets of a few key exercises, you're going to make some really good progress and you won't hate your life in the process. And I think that's the biggest key, because if you can continue to do stuff week after week in the gym, week after week with your diet, you're going to have the best possible results versus the most scientifically optimal diet and exercise program that you cannot stand. And that's not to say that if you don't like it, maybe you try the most optimal thing on the planet and you like it, better. That's even better, obviously. But it's really about finding something that you can stick with long term. And if you're not doing leg day in the first place, doing literally anything is better than not. So take that for what it is. Hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you found it insightful. FitDadInnerCircle.com for even more helpful fitness and diet tips and strength training tips and a little bit of muscle growth tips here and there as I find out more details from my own training and other people that I'm working with. So with that said, go check out more of my videos on my channel, and that's all I got now. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.